So welcome to Knox and a happy new year to everybody watching. Welcome to our new studio as well. And we are going to kick off 2022 with our review of the Pirelli Rosso Corsa 2. So on the back of a few tyre reviews that we've done on the Knox channel, and as a direct result of people asking us, I've been running the Pirelli Rosso Corsa 2s on my motorcycle for the last 6 months. Now clearly Knox, we are not a motorcycle tyre review channel, but that being said, we ride an awful lot on motorcycles. We get to test a lot of different bikes, we ride in all weather conditions, and we also do a lot of track days as well. And with that in mind, we actually get through quite a lot of different tyres. I'm happy to keep producing this type of content because I think it's a really helpful resource for you guys out there. And I don't think there's a huge amount of detailed and/or unbiased reviews out there by the major publications as well. So on that basis, I'll keep producing it and hopefully that's really helpful to you guys. So back to the Rosso Corsa 2s. Now, I've ridden them, as I say, on my own motorcycle. This is my GSXR 750, but I've also used them on some of the motorcycles that come with them as standard. So that would be the Ducati Panigale V2 and also the Street Fighter V4S that come with them as standard fitment. I've used them in all weather conditions from 30 degrees centigrade down to 0 and icy. I've ridden them in the wet, the cold, red hot track days. So I've got a very good understanding of the tyres. So firstly, what are they? They are an incredibly important tyre in the motorcycle market. They're really popular as aftermarket fitments. If you're going to take a bike like mine and put a better set of tyres on it, Rosso Corsa 2 would definitely be one of the options up there. They are very important in the Pirelli range, and they're also fitted to quite a lot of new motorcycles as a stock fitment like the Ducati models that I mentioned before. In terms of what they do, I mean, they are very much positioned as a sports tyre. So if you've got a sports bike or you've got a naked bike, a super naked, something like that, they are designed for those type of motorcycles with road use and track use in mind. In terms of Pirelli's range, they would sit below the Super Corsa product. So in the Super Corsas, you have the SC, which is the race-orientated products that you would see in stock 600 and 1000 classes. Then you have the Super Corsa SP, that's the more road-going version of the Super Corsa. Then you would have these Rosso Corsa 2, which are 50-50 track and road. And then of course you have the Rosso 3 and 4, which are more road-based. So the Rosso Corsa 2, really sophisticated construction on these tyres. I mean, in the front, you've got 2 different grades of compound, and on the rear, you've got actually 3 different grades of compound. Effectively, what it is doing is putting or majoring on silica compounds in the middle parts of the tyres, both front and rear. That is designed to improve wear and also wet weather performance. And then on the sides, on both the front and rear, you've got this compound called what they call carbon black. Now that is designed to increase the edge grip in the environments that you would be riding on the edge of the tyre, like your track days, for example. So they come in all of the sizes that you'd expect to find on a sports bike or a naked bike. Probably 17-inch wheel is the right one. And the positioning is pretty clear. This is a tyre that is designed so you can go and ride on the road in any condition and then take your motorcycle to a track day and fill your boots there as well. So what's good about them? In practice and on the road, they are a fantastic choice for sports bikes and naked bikes on the road. You've got 0 warm-up time. You've got excellent grip in all conditions and really fantastic grip in the wet. It's testament to these tyres of how good they are in the wet conditions that I can pull stoppies and rolling stoppies in the wet and cold. So I would describe these as a soft tyre that is orientated very much to that very quick warm-up time and getting out there and having high performance very quickly from the the moment that you roll off the street or the pavement or whatever. Now, these are the only tyres that I've ever seen, and I've seen a couple of pictures on social media and stuff of people getting them to look and scrub up like track day tyres when they're just riding on the road. You can get them to do that because the compound is quite soft and you're just straight into that operating temperature in a road setting. It's really, really impressive. I've had loads of confidence with these tyres on the road, and in terms of their ability through in all different weather environments, they are right up there with the very best in class. Like the Sportsmart Mark III, for example, or the Bridgestone S22s that I know are also very popular, and also the Sportsmart TT. They're right up there in terms of the best of them. These tyres have worn incredibly well, considering the road mileage that I've put them through, and also 2 track days riding on the absolute ragged edge of the performance of these tyres. They've worn incredibly well. I reckon I'd still have another 2-3 track days if I wanted to on this set of tyres. So doing track days, especially if you are new, there is an awful lot to think about. And I've been an advocate for the length of time that I've been doing track days is to run a tyre like this that is a road tyre, that you can literally just ride on the road, turn up at your track day, just get out there and enjoy it. Get out there, focus on your lines, have a good time, and not have to worry about tyre warmers, about super sensitive with the pressure, all that kind of stuff. You know, especially if you are new to track days or you're in the novice and intermediate tyres, this is all the tyre that you'll need to look at. Don't bother with the race grades because you're going to be operating below the ceiling of grip. And I think that is very, very impressive. I mean, certainly thinking about the tyres that this bike came on when I got it, which was the Bridgestone BT016s, this is leaps and bounds better than a tyre like that. And I think it's very impressive. So we've talked a lot about what is great about the Rosso Corsa 2 tyres. Now we're on to the limitations. Well, when I started riding on track a couple of years ago, and we actually produced a video, a guide to how to start and what you should be thinking about. And we did talk about tyres in that video. Now, take me back a couple of years ago when I was just starting out in novice and intermediate groups. I'm telling you, this is the only tyre I would have needed. It means that you can go to your track day, minimal fuss. You don't even need to think about these things. All you do is focus on going there, enjoying it, focus on your lines, getting quicker, safer at the same time, and you're still going to be operating within the limitations of this tyre, and that is absolutely perfect for that sort of setting this tyre is. But like all tyres, they work in a window of capabilities, I suppose. And the Pirelli Rosso Corsa 2 has got some really clever technology to widen that operating window with the silica and the carbon black compounds coming together to really widen that operating window. But what you find when you start to go faster is that you're coming up here to the edge of its operating window, and once you get past that, they start to fall off that pretty quick. So the last couple of track days that I've been on with these tyres, I would say my first and second lap of that particular session, the tyres feel great and then they quickly drop off. And just as an example, like recently we produced a video where I was lucky enough to ride a session out with John McGuinness, but you can go and check out that video right now and it'll echo what I'm just about to talk about. But basically, when we came back after that session, John said to me, he said, "Blooming heck, son, you were quick out the gate." So much so that I actually dropped him and left him behind a little bit. Ultimately because I had great confidence in the tyres straight out of pit lane, whereas he was wanting to let them warm up a bit. Needless to say, I mean, you know, multiple TT winner, of course, caught me back up and at one point overtook me. And he said to me afterwards, he said, "Well, why didn't you stay with me? Why didn't you catch me back up after I took over?" And the reality was that once he did take over, we were about sort of 4 or 5 laps in, and I just couldn't keep with him anymore. My tyres were sliding everywhere, on every corner, and you know, in order to stick with him, which I really wanted to do, chasing John McGuinness down on track, I think I'd have ended up on my backside basically, because we weren't hanging around at all. We were going quite fast, but I was very much at the ragged edge of grip of this set of tyres, and that was a little bit frustrating. I think ultimately, once you get up to the certain pace, you need to go up a set. And personally, I wouldn't use these tyres again on track. I think if I was sticking with Pirellis, I'd want to move up to the Super Corsa SC and just use tyre warmers. So the second downside really on the Rosso Corsa 2s is that while these are marketed as a 50-50 tyre from road to track, there isn't any official recommendation for track day pressures from Pirelli. Now, what that means is that you end up sort of you know, surfing the internet trying to find the answer. Now, one article I've read quoted a Pirelli official in America saying that we should be running them at 26 PSI in the rear cold. But then I talked to my contact and he said, well, that was too low. Really, it should be like 28 through to 30. But, you know, basically, because there isn't any official recommendation on the Pirelli website, you just end up guessing a little bit. Now, for me personally, I want to go on track, and actually I want to be more accurate. I want to have a good motorcycle set up. I've got my suspension set up perfectly. I don't want to be guessing with my tyres, you know. And I think when I'm running tyres on track in the future, I want to have one that's got a well-developed and official recommended tyre pressure setting. So in summary, the Pirelli Rosso Corsa 2 tyres are a fantastic option. If you're riding predominantly on the road, on a sports bike, on a naked bike, go for it. I mean, these are fantastic. They are right up there with the best in class from the other tyres that I've tested. Really, really top notch. I think just the caveat is that if you are doing track days and you are starting to push up and starting to push the limits, these are going to drop off quite quickly, and there are better options like the Dunlop Sport Smart TTs or going down the Pirelli Super Corsa SC or SP series. I think most riders on track will be happier with that choice of compound. However, if you are just starting out in track days and fast road work, then yeah, go ahead. These are a brilliant tyre. So I hope this video has been helpful for you in selecting the next set of tyres for your motorcycle. Please let us know in the comments section. Please subscribe to the channel too and check out the Knox range of all the products that we use to protect ourselves on the road and on track, and we'll see you on the next one.